So Dr. Rajeev Gupta and Dr. Manshi Bhagat, over to you. You can jointly present whichever way you like.
Thank you so much, Sister Suvralina. Thank you so much. So today I'll be starting with the session first. We'll be talking about the astral body. We've already spoken about the physical body. Let me share the screen first and let us go to the page. So that all of us can, just see what we are reading while we are studying the astral body. So we've done the physical body, which was part 1. The second part is the astral body. We are doing the book Man and His Bodies, written by Dr. Annie Besant. This is one of the manuals which we all need to study so as to understand the functions and all the details regarding how the bodies function and how consciousness moves within through these bodies. So let's go to the astral body. In the last talk, we understood the physical body. We know that we can see the physical bodies of other men while in the waking consciousness state. We know that we can see thoroughly with our eyes, we can sense it, we can touch the physical bodies of other men. And so we just know this as the reality. However, man, according to theosophical literature, has both visible and invisible bodies, or visible parts and the invisible parts. So the astral body, or the desire body, as we call it, this cannot be seen with our naked eyes. Sensations and feelings, however, are made possible because of this astral body. I hope the screen is visible and all of you can see the written text on the screen.
Yes, it's visible and it's clear.
Thank you. So sensations and feelings are made possible because of this astral body. And our ability to have the desires and emotions is also through this astral body. So we need to understand, in the very beginning of this book, Dr. Annie Besant says 2 terms. That is, what is the astral plane and what is the astral body. This is how we'll come to know the astral world and all about the body which we are wearing, the astral body. So let's first discuss the astral plane or the astral world. Now she says the astral plane or the astral world is a definite region. Since we cannot see it, yet it is there. It is right here, along with the physical body and the physical plane of existence, right here. This astral plane interpenetrates the physical states of matter. So the physical states of matter were solid, liquid, gases, and the ethers. So it is interpenetrating all these states of matter. This interpenetration is only made possible because the matter of which this astral world is made is far much subtler than the physical matter. It is much more finer even than the etheric matter, and that is why it is able to interpenetrate it. Here also, in this astral plane or the astral world, which is right here, we will find 7 subplanes of the astral matter. All are interpenetrating the 7 subplanes of the physical matter. So in conclusion, all the physical atoms have developed their astral counterparts. Next, we come to the astral body. So we've talked about the astral plane. We know that it is right here. From this same matter, the astral matter, which is right here of the astral plane, the astral body of each human being, each man, is made up of this astral matter only. Right? And the astral body is the vehicle that the man is using when he will go in the astral plane and he will function in the astral plane. So the astral matter of which our physical astral body, the astral matter of which our astral body is made up, interpenetrates the physical body matter. However, we are unable to see it or appreciate this astral body with our own naked eyes, as the physical eye does not have the ability to see these finer states of matter of which the astral body is composed. The physical eye can only see solids, liquids. However, it is also unable to appreciate the gaseous states of matter. So we cannot see the oxygen or the nitrogen, right, in many forms. We cannot even see the etheric states of matter. Similarly, we cannot see the astral matter, which is right here. We cannot see it with our naked eyes. Thus, every man has another subtler vehicle called the astral body. And this body is not completely organized. So this is a fact which as per the theosophical principles we all need to understand. Now, what is the work of every man? The work of every man is that the astral body, where I have written the word AB, it means astral body. That the astral body should be fully organized and we should make it, we should bring it under our control. Everyone can use their astral body by expressing their desires and emotions. We are all expressing our desires and emotions. However, we can only appreciate through this physical body. But the physical body is only expressing all these desires and emotions, which are actually in the astral body. Also, very few can separate the astral body from the physical body apparatus. We all know that we cannot separate consciously our physical body from the astral body. So that the astral body can work in the astral plane consciously without the physical vehicle. The astral body, in which are the centers of sensation, is known as the astral man. The important point for us to remember is that in a partially developed state, this astral body is called the astral sheath. Why? Because it is an undeveloped astral body. When the man will organize and build up astral matter within this astral sheath will become the astral body. And astral body is actually a fully functional, independent vehicle which can be used on the astral plane. That is why it has been given the name as astral body, because now it is a complete, fully functional, well-organized, independent vehicle. Now, next, Dr. Annie Besant goes further ahead and explains us the difference between an undeveloped astral body and a developed astral body. What are the subtler differences? She says, in an undeveloped person, the astral matter will have all the 7 subplanes of matter available in the astral body. However, the grosser matter of the astral body will be more than the finer astral matter. Thus, in undeveloped individuals, it has a very inchoate appearance. The outline of the astral body right now is very dull, undefined, and the matter within the astral body is ill-arranged, being or looking like a shapeless, shifting cloud. It is unfit to act as an independent vehicle. So it moves like an amoeboid type, like an amoeba moving here and there. We've all seen it. So it seems similar to the amoeba. It is unfit to be used as an independent vehicle. This is the body of the undeveloped astral vehicle. Next, we come to the developed astral body. In the developed man, the astral body will become more sharper in outline. It will be definite in appearance. It will have clearly demarcated areas, well marked around the astral body. It will be well organized so as to be able to function as a well-defined independent astral vehicle in the astral plane. And a well-formed astral body also means that a person has reached fairly high in either intellectual culture or spiritual growth. The luminosity of the astral matter is such that if, when separated from the physical body vehicle, it can stand as a subtler, a more luminous copy. That is an exact replica of a physical body, but much more luminous in appearance. Now, all of this, the undeveloped body and the developed body, can only be seen by clairvoyant vision, but not by ordinary vision. So these are the differences seen in the organization of astral body from an uncultured astral body to a developed astral body. Next step, the next step is, once we understand that an undeveloped astral body needs to be developed. So we need to understand the steps to improve this outer body so that the consciousness is better able to express itself. I have used 2 examples here to explain how the consciousness will better express itself once the astral body gets more developed. So for example, if we have a pen and we want to make the outer grip of the pen better, we want to make the plastic, the pen, the makeup of the pen with which it is made to be a better pen, so that when we write through it, then the inner pen, the nib of the pen is better able to write, because our grip will become better on the pen and we are clearly able to express on paper whatever we need to write without scribbling on the paper. Another example could be, there was an LCD TV and now all the LCD TV screens are changing into LED TV screens. So what has happened is the hardware of the outer body, the TV screen, has been more modified and better refined so that the picture clarity, the images on the TV screen can be better seen on the LED TV screen. So the better picture of the TV screen is actually the consciousness. So this is how we need to improve upon our astral body so that the consciousness can better express itself. Now, this improvement can be done from two sides. Improvement of the astral body happens either by purification of the physical body or by purification and development of the mental body. But the work needs to happen from both sides, meaning we need to improve the physical body as well as develop the mental body together. Now, this above statement is very practical for an aspirant. Why? Because he can use the physical body and mental body together as a coordinated whole for the purification and advancement on the path of self-realization. The astral body depends on the nature of the materials, the matter we are building into it. Whenever we purify the astral vehicle, it is progressing from a sheath into a body, becoming a better and a proper vehicle. The matter will become much more refined when finer matter will be introduced into the astral body. And also, what will happen is the developing astral body will cease to vibrate in answer to coarser vibrations or lower impulses. So if there is no less of coarser matter or lower matter in the astral body, as it will get shed off and the higher and more refined matter will enter the astral body, it will become a functional vehicle. And it will give response only to higher impulses or vibrations when the astral body becomes much more refined. Dr. Annie Besant says, this is not mere theory or speculation. It is a matter of scientific fact because it has been seen, observed, and studied by clairvoyant vision. Now, improvement of the astral body through the physical body. How do we develop the astral body via the use of physical body? Here, Dr. Annie Besant says that the astral body is affected by purity and impurity of physical vehicle. The kind of solid matters we are consuming in our physical body, whatever we are eating and drinking in our physical body, is going to make up the corresponding solid astral matter and liquid astral matter. Thus, the corresponding astral solid matter will attract and stay in astral solids, depending on the kind of foods we are consuming. Is it clean food? Is it nutritious food? Are we taking healthy vegetables? This will build up the solid astral matter. So, she says, excluding from the diet polluting kind of substances like flesh of animals, alcohol, and other foul and degrading solids. When we start doing this, we will improve our physical vehicle and also start purifying the astral solids and liquids that we are taking into the astral body. So this is how we need to improve the astral body by working on the physical body. Similarly, we also need to understand how to improve the astral body by improving upon the development of the, working on the development of the mind body. So she says the astral body is sensitive to impressions from thought. Dr. Besant has described it as under. Firstly, we have to understand that when thinking occurs, thinking can happen in two ways. Either consciously we are thinking of something, like I'm thinking of a specific person or a specific situation. I'm sitting idly and thinking of a certain behavior of a person whom I just met 30 minutes back. So either I'm thinking consciously or even unconsciously, most of our thinking happens. Like when we are occupied in some work in the kitchen or in the office or writing some details, and yet certain thoughts keep coming in the back. So what will happen is every time we think, either consciously or unconsciously, thought forms or thought forms of these thoughts will be constantly building up around the thinker, around the one who is thinking. Now, whenever a thought form is thus made, this thought form will remain in the vicinity or around that person till the time the energy of that thought form is dissipated or consumed. Then this thought form will persist if it keeps on receiving energy. Meaning, if I keep on thinking of that person again and again and again, I will keep on adding more energy to that same thought. Giving more energy to that same thought will lead to persistence of that thought form being supplied by this same person, the thinker, right? Now, there are several thoughts we think during the day, and each thought is impacting the astral body, resulting in the productions of feelings also. So every time I have a thought about a person whom I dislike, I will have thought forms of irritability or anger or jealousy. So the feelings will also come up. And where are the feelings coming from? The astral body. So every time I'm thinking in a wrong way or a negative way, or I'm thinking of usually people and persons and situations, the corresponding feelings and sensations will also come up as an astro-mental complex. And this will affect our behavior. And this will produce also habits of positive kind or negative kind, because we keep on introducing these kind of thoughts. For example, if I think of a person who has shouted at me in the office for work that I was unable to do, then this thought of a person will produce feelings of ill will and hatred towards that colleague. In this way, the thought stimulated has automatically generated in the astral body certain feelings and sensations in this case. Now, what will happen is the corresponding subplane of astral matter will be attracted from outside and will come within my body. So it will remain around the astral body of this person who was thinking this thought and attracting the matter of that subplane even into the astral body. This thought emotion complex, or what we call as the thought form, will remain for days, months, or years till the time I keep on supplying energy to these similar thoughts regarding this colleague of mine. So in this way, we have centered around our bodies thousands of thoughts, and they are of multiple characters. Some are positive, some are negative, some happy, some sad, some are of jealousy, and all these contribute to making our personality. Thoughts resulting in various emotions are like the food that is constantly being built up in the matter of the astral body. Now, coarse or finer matter built up in the astral body is thus based on the habit pattern which we are constantly reinforcing while thinking. Hence, now we know the relationship between the thoughts and their influence on the kind of subplane of matter which we are introducing or building into our astral body. The stronger the coarser thoughts, the coarser is the astral body matter. And the finer the thoughts that I think upon, the finer will be the astral matter that will I collect within my astral body. If we think on intellectual or devotional thoughts, the more will be the finer astral matter that we build in our astral vehicle. Just please wait for a minute. I'll just be back. Excuse me. Yes, I'm sorry, and I'm back. I'm so sorry. So let's go ahead further. We've studied about the developed and the undeveloped astral body, and we've also now studied how thoughts affect our astral body and how the kind of matter we add into our physical body will affect our astral body. Now, the next subject that Dr. Annie Besant here deals with is the aura of man. The astral body is permeating the physical body and is extending around it in every direction like a cloud. Now, what is the aura of man she is describing? She says the astral body is actually a kind of a cloud around the physical body. What is the physical body? The physical body is actually the main object. The main object is the physical body. And the halo around the main object is the astral body. And it is permeating the physical body around it in every direction like a cloud. Now, this cloud is of varying colors, and these colors are constantly changing. So we know that the colors of the astral body are constantly changing. When I'm in anger, then scarlet color will appear. And similarly, depending on my emotions, the colors will keep on changing. So depending on the constantly changing colors, varying with the kind of emotions that a man is undergoing, This part outside the physical body will form our karmic aura. Now, this karmic aura is merely such part of the karmic body which is extending around the physical body, and it can be seen by clairvoyant vision. This is what we talked about is the karmic aura. However, Dr. Annie Besant now further explains and describes that the aura of man, when we say aura of man, it is not just this karmic aura of constantly changing colors. Rather, it is actually the mixed substances of all the other garments or all the other vehicles that are seen around the physical body. This is called the aura of man. So to summarize, we know that the lowest of all bodies is the physical body and the mixed substances of other garments. Now, what are the other garments? The etheric matter around, the astral body matter, the mental body matter, the buddhic matter, and the atmic matter. All of these are the other garments and other bodies. All of these can be seen by clairvoyant vision, and they are around the physical body like a halo. And this is called the aura of a man. Now, in the aura of man, colors are seen to be constantly changing as per the change in feelings, desires, emotions, and thinking. Now, when a man is born, he wears one garment of astral body in one life, and he'll wear all the other garments of various planes in one life that befit him, befit his character. And this astral body in this life will keep on undergoing changes in its matter as per the vibration this astral body is receiving from within and without. And hence, color changes may be observed in this aura around the physical body. Like, for example, if a man has temper, scarlet will appear in the astral body. If he feels love, rose red color will appear in the matter of astral body. These colors are constantly thrilling through the aura of man. That is, the matter present within the astral body is constantly changing and is being replaced by other matter from without. And hence, the changing hue of colors are noticed. If a man is thinking on nobler and devotional lines, finer astral matter will be attracted from outside within the astral body of man. And in this way, the man can consciously, gradually replace the grosser and denser particles of astral matter, as they will get shed off automatically with time, practice, and perseverance. So, this is how we need to shed off the lower matter and take up the higher matter. Further, Dr. Annie Besant writes that we can trace this action on the astral body in its loss of grosser and denser particles which are shedding away from the lower subplanes, and the rarer matter is adding up. And this will increase the luminosity of the astral body as the man will become more cultured, and nobler thoughts will be selected by him by selective action of the mind. So this is the first step. Our possibilities of becoming of real service will only depend upon the first step, which is the purification step. And the purification is of the physical body, the astral body, and the mental body. Only then will a person be ready to walk on the path of yoga. Now let us go further. Here Dr. Annie Besant says, so if a person cannot or will not accomplish this simple duty, that is the purification, his duty is to purify his body first. If he does not purify the body by the initial methods of purification, and instead he takes up some difficult activity or some difficult path on the path of yoga, he takes up certain activities, then what will happen is he will fall. Why? She explains. She says the duty of purifying the physical body and the astral body by initially using the methods of self-denial is much more necessary and foremost duty of an aspirant. That is, he should consciously break the habits of impure foods and drinks before starting on the more difficult and more straining practices of yoga. Dr. Annie Besant says it is idle for a man to try and practice the more difficult processes of yoga, which seem more novel and attractive, as they would soon be dropped as an intolerable burden, because the bodies are not ready to take up the burden for higher practices. So hoping for quick results, sometimes people may start enthusiastically in the initial days. However, such people would get tired of the regular strain when new practices of some unusual yoga methods will be taken up. And these practices will wear him away when the results are not quickly achieved. Hence, she says, all the special methods of practice of self-realization are idle until ordinary practices have been done for some time for the purification of physical body and the astral body. Further, she says, when the self-purification methods are practiced for a time, how will the aspirant know that what are the changes he has undergone and has he improved or not improved? So the aspirant will see certain modifications, certain changes inwardly within himself and outwardly. What will happen is the pupil will find much more knowledge gradually flow into him. Keener vision will awaken. Vibrations will reach him from every aspect of life, which was not possible for him earlier during his initial stages of ignorance, whenever he starts on these self-preparatory methods. Also, as per his work and hard work done, he will see that as per his previous karma and persistent dedication in this direction, these experiences of higher life will be his own, and he will much better appreciate the finer knowledge coming to him. Like a child, she says, who is learning the alphabet, will find over a period of time that he can read much more difficult books very well as he will go further and advance on the path. She also says a wider universe unfolds for that aspirant. So this is how she goes step by step in the book to describe all about the astral body. Now next we come to the next part of the book, which is wherein she explains the working of the astral body during sleep, during the waking state, and after death. So let us study the astral vehicle in the waking state and the sleep state. What happens during the waking state? When we are awake in the waking state, astral activities have constantly changing colors during the transactions we are having with the outer environment. So the astral body is constantly changing its colors, which is seen by clairvoyant vision. We've explained that. What happens in the sleep state? In the sleep stage, there are slight differences in unevolved individuals and evolved individuals. The astral vehicle will show different activities. So what happens in less evolved individuals? In the less evolved individuals, it is seen that astral body is like a shapeless mass. So it cannot go very far away from the physical body. When the physical body goes to sleep and the etheric double is also resting on the bed, the astral body will move out of the physical body and then sleep happens. Sleep only happens when the astral body moves out. And what will happen is this astral body will not go very far away from the physical body and it will float only idly above the sleeping physical form. This happens in less evolved individuals. So now if any unusual thing will happen to the physical body, like sudden jerks from falling off a glass or a bottle in the vicinity while the person is sleeping, the physical body will suddenly awaken and the astral body will re-enter it at this point of time. So this happens in less evolved individuals during the sleep state. Now what happens in the sleep stage in evolved individuals? If a person is much evolved and much more developed, and the man is able to function on the astral plane and is able to use the astral body for that purpose, then in this case, when the physical body goes to sleep, the physical body and etheric double both are on the bed and the astral body slips out of it. This astral body being well shaped and well properly organized, the man is able to travel much more far away into the astral world because the body is now much more of an independent vehicle. So the astral body is able to travel much more far away from the physical body during sleep. It is said the man is said to be active. The man has greater powers to comprehend on the astral plane, and the man is able to move freely in his astral vehicle, much more far away from the physical body. Now, although this person may be evolved enough, however, he has not been trained, in the astral plane. So he has not reached a stage wherein he is aware of the sleeping state. he is not conscious or fully aware when his astral body moved out of the physical body while sleeping. There being this break in the consciousness. Now, when this man comes back into the physical body from the sleep state into the waking state, the impressions are not made on the physical brain, and therefore he has no knowledge of all the activities he did on the astral plane. So his knowledge of sleep stage is very limited. This limitation of man's inability to share his experiences of astral world is therefore because of the fact that physical body is too dense to receive impressions from the higher vehicles. In this stage, he is not capable of perceiving impressions. However, in certain advanced individuals, there may be momentary impressions which are experienced in the astral world. And when the man first enters and wakes up from the astral to the physical, when he wakes up, he may be able to recollect his dream. But this recollection of whatever he felt or whatever happened on the astral plane quickly vanishes from his memory, except at the time when he first woke up and he was able to recall that astral experience to a limited extent. Why? Because he is not trained. In certain other cases, man may even succeed in getting new knowledge into his physical brain when he wakes up in the morning, but he has no memory of how that knowledge was obtained. So he may have sudden spontaneous solutions to certain problems when he wakes up. Obscure things will become much more clearer to him on the next day when he wakes up. This shows that the astral body has become much more organized. However, the physical body is only partially receptive to astral impressions after waking up. All these three are the experiences of the astral world in certain people as the man has evolved and has become developed. Now, further ahead, Dr. Annie Besant states that those who are advancing in spirituality and are ready to serve can be employed much more usefully in the astral world for work that can be done on these planes during sleep, even though the advanced students will have no memory of the work in which they were engaged in the astral plane. This readiness to serve, like in the Invisible Helpers, there is a book, Invisible Helpers, in which all of these details have been given. So the readiness to serve and the aspiration to work and devote the life to such work needs from that student earnestness, devotion, purity of vehicles. Physical, astral vehicle should be much more purified. There should be certain amount of mind control. There should be elevated thoughts and hearts which only desire to serve the higher, leaving the impurity of power and selfishness aside. So such people are working in the astral plane. Now next we come to the phenomena and possibilities associated with the astral body. There are three possibilities that can be seen. One is the out-of-body experiences. The second is materialization. And the third is rearrangement of astral body after death. Now let's first discuss the out-of-the-body experiences, OBE. When the person leaves the physical body, he is able to see the physical body as separate from himself. Then the man is said to be experiencing out-of-body experience. In this phenomena, the person is functioning in the astral body now. And later when he returns to the physical body, he is also able to remember this experience. This phenomena has been seen all across the world in many normal individuals who are not even trained. So the details are available on the internet. Now let's go study the next phenomena, which is materialization. The man, to show himself in the physical world, he has an astral vehicle. This astral vehicle will densify itself by taking in the surrounding matter from the atmosphere of physical matter, so as to make himself visible to physical sight to other people. This is known as materialization. Now, materialization can be done in three ways. If a man is living on the physical plane and he's trained by the masters of wisdom in the spiritual path, he can do this phenomenon of materialization. It can also be done by those people who are dead on the physical plane. They have left their physical body. Now, after death, they are currently living and functioning on the astral plane or other higher planes. They are also trained by the masters of the wisdom. And now they can materialize their bodies. A mastery over the astral body means that the person can leave the physical body at any time and travel in the astral to long distances, and then he can use this astral body as a vehicle. In certain individuals, this materialization can also happen without training, unconsciously, like a mother who has died and is no more in contact with the physical world. But when she sees her children in danger, then to warn of that danger with that high intense emotion, she may be able to materialize and still come into the physical world. But this happens only for a certain time period and very partial. Now the third phenomena. The third phenomena is rearrangement of astral body after death. Usually, physical body matter is intermixed and interpenetrate with the astral matter during life. We all know this. What happens after death? The physical body remains here, gets degraded. The etheric double also gets separated off from the physical body and the astral body. And this etheric double will also deteriorate. Now, what happens to the astral body? Basically, the astral body will have coarser matter on the outside and finer matter on the inside initially. So there will be concentric shells which will be created of coarser matter on the outside and finer matter on the inside. So the heavy dense matter being outside, finer inside makes concentric shells in the astral plane. But the work of the man is to break this rearrangement so that all these subplanes of matter are circulating freely and moving with each other. So all the subplanes of matter should be constantly moving and they should not make concentric shells. Only then can the man move freely at will to all the subplanes of astral matter which this man has accumulated during his waking life. In this life, whatever this man has accumulated in the subplanes of astral matter, will then he be able to travel in the astral plane to any distances. If this man is unable to break these concentric shells after death, he will then remain confined to the lowest subplane because the coarsest matter being outside, he will remain in the lowest subplane first. And gradually, only when the subplane by subplane, these coarser matter will deteriorate, then only the man will rise from subplane to subplane. So this is a gradual process, but this is not the right process. So the matter should basically intermingle with each other. This is what we need to understand. Now, Dr. Annie Besant further says the man rises from subplane to the next higher subplane in the astral world after death, and the matter of each lower subplane will gradually disintegrate and he will rise to higher regions. Now, again, Dr. Annie Besant says that purification for all of this to happen should happen in the physical life only. Why? Because after the death of the physical body in the astral plane, because of the greater quantity of astral matter being present or more grosser emotions being present, the man will stay more longer in the low regions of subplanes of the astral matter or in the Kamaloka. And so he will be meeting up such individuals who have lower nature or grosser emotions. And so this knowledge is important for us that we have to refine and purify our physical, our astral matter while we are living in the physical body. So the lesson to understand is that the more we have joyful emotions, elevated thoughts, the more purified will be our astral body. At rebirth, the unconquered passions and desires which we have, they are again thrown outwards. And the astral matter, whichever is congruous to the latent tendencies which we have, which we've taken from the past births, which we have brought in this birth, all of this will get appropriate material for expression in the next life. So all the lower passions that we have right now will again come up. We will again appropriate material for those lower emotions in the next life. And this will again fashion the kind of astral body, which will again bring in the fruits in the next birth. So we'll have to restart our work again of rebuilding the astral matter in the next life if we do not do it in this life. So purifying the present astral body based on this knowledge will ensure our future progress. Dr. Annie Besant states this fact that all our earth lives are linked together. We never begin a new life with a clean sheet, but rather begin a new chapter. which develops from the old story. The liabilities, the debts, all of these unresolved conflicts will dissolve at the end of the life? No, they will not dissolve, but they will rather continue in the next life till the chains and bonds which we have made have been worked upon, and we can set ourselves free from all these bonds. So we always have a choice, and we always have a freedom of will. Therefore, when a man determines that he will make the lower nature the servant of the higher, and this can begin only in physical life, then the purification has to start now rather than after death. Thank you so much. I'll stop my screen sharing, and now Dr. Rajeev Gupta sir will take over. Thank you so much. Sir, you're muted. You have to unmute yourself.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Manshi. I also want to present. Can I share my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so here we have, I just try to summarize a little bit and give certain other points in a more pictorial form so that we are able to understand much better about the astral body. Now, these are the three astral bodies, the diagrams of which have been given in Man, Visible and Invisible. There are a few books by Brother Bishop C.W. Peter, and if you want to know further about these in detail, we can read Man, Visible and Invisible in thought forms. So this we see, there are three types, they have divided into three types. One is the normal individual, one is the uncultured, uncivilized individual, and one is the developed person, almost on the path. So we'll see a little bit. Now we see this, this is how they have said that the normal person's astral body appears more or less like this. We can see the central figure. This is the human frame. In this human frame, 99% of the astral matter of the astral body is concentrated in. The rest 1% is spread outside this frame, and usually it is from about 18 inches, it is outside the physical frame in the normal developed person, in an average intellectual person. In the case of less developed, uncivilized, or less cultured, savage kind of individuals, the size is slightly less. In those who are much more developed, more coming more to the path, on the probationary path, perhaps the disciples, there the astral body is much larger. Also, another feature, although it is not shown properly in this diagram, is that if the grosser or let's say the baser emotions are much more in the individual, then more this ovoid will be more like an egg with the broader end on the lower side. In the case of people, a person who has subtler emotions more developed than the grosser or baser emotions, then in such a person, the shape of the astral body will be like an egg with a broader end on the upper side. So this is one of the things which they have not shown here, but they have talked about. In this figure, we see that the individual is here inside, but when we will see on the astral plane, we will see this ovoid shape. And in that ovoid shape, we can easily make out the central figure so that the person is recognizing. It's not that the person is not recognizing. Apart from that, what will be seen in the astral body is there are different colors which will be seen. And we can see the colors in this average moral intellectual man, that this yellowish color is indicating the intellectual capacity of the person. The blue color is indicating the devotional aspect. The reddish colors are indicating the love which is selfish. If it was pale or let's say pale red or rose red, then it would be more like unselfish affection. The green color is indicating, this belt of green is indicating adaptability and cunningness if other baser colors are joining with this. This darker is more or less giving us that this person is easily aroused to anger. So like this, and then we have the browns and the darker greens and the grays. They are the baser emotions of jealousy, of selfishness, of many other things. So this is how the makeup of the astral body is done, is made in the average moral and intellectual person. Then we see this is the astral body of the undeveloped person. And we can see everything is muddied. Nothing is clear. No proper outline or shape of the astral body. We can hardly see the central figure here. So once on the astral plane, you can easily make out whether this is the astral body of a cultured person or a person who is not developed. As it is written here, it is about 10 to 12 inches beyond the actual physical frame. That is the extension of the astral body. Then we go to the spiritually developed person. It is larger in size and it is made up of few colors. Usually there are 5 or 6 colors in such a person. All are very sharply demarcated. The person has very finely demarcated and textured body. The central figure is easily seen, and we can see that there is a good development of the intellectual side of the person, and there is a lilac or a violetish color on top, which indicates spirituality. So if we are able to see this, supposing we could astral vision group 1, if we see such a astral body, we can say that this person is a spiritual person. So there is this capping of the lilac or violetish color on top of the astral body here. Then there is a bluish part which indicates devotion. Then we have pale red color, which is more or less unselfish affection, and then a lot of green, which is indicating adaptability, sympathy. So Bishop Ledbetter says that a developed man has 5 rates of vibration in his astral body. An ordinary man shows at least 9 rates with a mixture of various shades. Many people have 50 or 100 rates. The whole surface broken up into multiplicity of little whirlpools. We have little worries, anxieties, so many things are going on with us. All battling one against another in mad confusion because of unnecessary emotion and worries, through which much of his strength is fitted. Not only is this that the person is having this kind of confusion, such a person is a contagious person. He will give this infection of confusion, of negativity to others around him. This condition, he says, is painfully common, and the remedy is to eliminate worry, fear, and annoyance. And the student of occultism is told that he must not have personal feelings that can be affected under any circumstances, whatever. This also comes in the Mahatma letters, that even in the ordinary fakir, this is a requirement, not to talk about other people. Now, this is a devotional kind of a person who has a lot of devotion developed here, the bluish part. The intellectual part is not so much developed. Then they have given another picture of a person who is a scientific type of person. A lot of intellectual development is there. Pride and ambition can be seen with this cone here, of the orangish cone here. Similarly, so many types of astral bodies have been shown in the book. I have tried to give only a few here. This is when there is a sudden rush of emotion in a person, affection in this case, and it will be seen as big whirlpools, circles. And these are like projectiles. This is a projectile going from this astral body towards the object, that person of affection. So this will be seen going, shooting from this astral body towards the person to whom the affection is directed. Like in the case of mother, having a lot of love suddenly arousing for the child, then what will you see? This is how the astral body will appear in such a person, such a mother. And this will be shooting towards the child. In case of sudden rush of devotion, the same kind of circles will be seen, but the color will be now bluish color. And the cone, instead of going towards something, a cone, this will shoot up this kind of cone towards the deity. And usually it is upwards. This is how they are towards. This is when there is intense anger. This is how the astral body will appear. This will be when there is a lot of fear. Person is suddenly frightened and he is fearful. Then this is how the astral body will appear. In case of irritable person, this will be the condition of a person who is constantly in the state of irritation, easily irritated. Such is the thing. We can see not a very good looking astral body. In case of a miser, he is enclosed by these various, let's say like a jail, he's put himself into a jail. So the astral matter on the outside will become banded like this. Similar thing will happen in case of deep depression. Now, just to summarize, the functions of the astral body may be roughly grouped under three headings: to make sensation possible, to serve as a bridge between mental and physical bodies, and to act as an independent vehicle of consciousness and action. I still have a few minutes. I'll just rush over this thing so that things are clear. We have all heard about the chakras, the force centers in the etheric double. So when we talk about the Kundalini and how the Kundalini can be raised from chakra to chakra, we are usually talking about the etheric double. The etheric double is part of the physical plane, the physical body. But in the astral body also, there are chakras. And these chakras need to be again developed and vivified by the Kundalini there itself. And this is done on its own, life after life. We really can't do consciously. So as a person develops from a savage condition, from animal to human, when the person has become human from an animal, then none of the chakras are properly developed. But as person goes through the life cycles, then these chakras start to get developed. And as we have just seen, it starts to develop as an independent vehicle of consciousness and action where on the astral plane. So what is going to happen when the Muladhara chakra or the base of the spine chakra, all these chakras in the astral body are just near to the chakras of the etheric double. So that is why we can say the same thing, that where in the etheric double there is Muladhara chakra, in the same way in the astral body also where the Muladhara chakra of the etheric double is there is also a chakra in the astral body, and this is called the base of the spine chakra. Here, what happens is that as this person develops, the base of the spine chakra gets developed, then there will be awakening of the Kundalini at the astral body. Then what will happen is, then the Kundalini, after having been awakened, and this is happening life after life, slowly. The Kundalini having been awakened, it moves to the navel chakra in the astral plane. We are talking about the astral body, in the astral plane. There the navel chakra is vivified, and there is the awakening in the astral body of the power of feeling. Therefore, a person who is absolutely savage, we say he's a heartless person, a person who doesn't have any feeling whatsoever, then in that person, the astral body has not got the navel chakra vivified. So when the navel chakra gets vivified, the power of feeling will start to flow within the astral body. and he will be sensitive to all sorts of influences in the astral plane as well as coming from other planes as well. Then, as the Kundalini moves up and goes to the spleen chakra, then the person's astral body will be able to travel in the astral plane consciously, meaning during sleep, the person will be able to detach himself completely and not just float over the physical body, and be able to, during the period of sleep, move around in the astral plane, and if possible, sometimes may even remember after coming back. Then the heart chakra, when it gets vivified by the Kundalini, then such a person is able to sympathize with other astral entities, able to comprehend, and even on the physical plane, we can sympathize with others. That ability also comes into this. And then the throat chakra gets vivified, then the person is able to speak in the astral plane. The astral body is able to communicate and hear also. When the Agya chakra or between the eyebrows chakra in the astral body, the chakram of the astral body gets vivified, then that person becomes gets the ability to see the astral objects or the astral plane instead of merely vaguely sensing their presence. So before that, the astral body was kind of blind in the astral plane. Only after the eyes come through the vivification of this chakra, then the person is able to see. And then when the Kundalini is able to reach and completely vivify the top of the head chakra, then the astral body is now ready to function as an independent vehicle of consciousness on the astral plane. One more thing that we have to understand is that, like in the physical body, in the astral, unlike like in the physical body, we have different organs. In the astral body, there are no organs specifically for seeing or hearing or touching. The whole of the matter of the astral body is in circulation. It is swirling around. And as it passes through these various chakras, and depending upon the vivification or the how much the chakras have developed, will the ability of the astral body be to respond to the various functions. Just like a person's ability to see on the astral plane will depend on how much the chakram between the eyes, between the eyebrows has been developed on the astral plane, in the astral body. If it has been developed properly, then the person will be able to see everything on the astral plane properly. If it is partially developed, then the person will have partial sight on the astral plane. So this is the thing that we have to see. This is the difference between the physical body and the astral body. So I think there is much to talk, but I think the time is now over, and I will now request if anyone has any particular questions or comments, they are most welcome.
Or if someone wants to put the question in the chat also, we can read and answer. If somebody doesn't want to speak.
There is just some one question in chat. So
okay.
Yes, the question is it true that we think one thought at a time? Then how is it that at the back we think of other things? Now this question is really, are we able to have 2-3 thoughts at the same time? From what I have read, it is not possible. We are able to think or focus our attention on one thought at a time, but the consciousness is so fast that it can flip from one thought to another, then back to one thought, then to third, then to first, then to second. So this happens that supposing we are meditating, let's say on a mantra, let's say we are meditating on the Gayatri mantra. So when we are physically uttering the words, chanting the mantra, also in our mind, we are just focused on the mantra. Then what happens is we may be thinking about something else as well as we are able to chant the mantra. Then what happens is at times we are able to be focused on the mantra mentally, and sometimes we can see other things. This can also happen when we are doing some meditation or concentration on some object. So when we take up an object and we are focused on it, we have made a visual aspect of it in our mind, we have closed our eyes and we are thinking of it. A song may just appear within us, in our mind, or some other images may just come in between. But we are still focused on that object, and there's something else also happening. So the answer to this has been given in this way, that the consciousness moves very fast between the two objects. And it gives us the impression as if we are having two thoughts at the same time. I hope I have been able to answer the question.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
I'm Sheetal Gole.
Okay. Any other question anyone wants to raise? Or we should probably go ahead with our closing prayer, because this is already explained so well and so scientifically. And as you at the end concluded, like this is connecting our physical to mental. Astral is the connector. So that is why it's very, very important. We cannot, it's step by step purification of all the bodies. That's really great. With this message, I think we should remain silent for a couple of seconds to absorb, because it's very important when we study or when we attend a study class, we must absorb what we are taking home. So let us absorb this in silence for maybe a couple of seconds, then we'll do the closing prayer, if I'm allowed to do that. Okay. सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः, सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः, सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु, मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत्। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. Thank you all for joining this session.
Thank you
See
very
you all
much.
next Saturday again in the study class.